Why am I muted? Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special stream. I don't even know why I was muted that time. I shouldn't have been. It should have been fine. Wait, what if I do this? I just want to use my test. There we go. I fixed it. What's up, everyone? God, this fucking... Oh, I get so mad. I get so mad at fucking Elgato Wavelink software just constantly not working right. I have to restart the program. I did it this time. I literally did the things I have to do to make sure I don't get muted, and it still muted me this time, pissing me off. Anyways, what's up, everybody? We are doing a very special stream today. Unfortunately, it's not Sabbath Sunday. Everybody went and did fucking Danganronpa because they're traitors. That's rude. I'm sorry. I hope they have fun with Danganronpa. I don't go there, so I'm gonna instead do a stream that I've been cooking up for a little bit here, quietly in the background. I've only got about a week left to do it, so I figured, you know, it's about time to crank this out. And so, essentially, I have to convince everybody of something. I've been thinking about how I'm gonna do this for a while, and I decided that I would be making a PowerPoint for all of you. So we're gonna be doing a presentation today. This presentation is probably gonna take about an hour, maybe like at the most 2 hours, depending on how much I ramble. Effie Page, thank you for the follow. So we're doing a PowerPoint today. That's the stream. That's the whole stream. If it goes short, it goes short. But I will point. I literally, Zapisa, I will fucking point. Convince you blueberries are good? Like, I'm sorry, I just fucking can't. I can't convince you of that. Instead, I'm gonna be convincing you of something different. Chat. Are we all ready? Are we all seated? I want everybody, you know, get your popcorn ready. Sit, get cozy, because we're gonna be in it for the long haul on this one. I need everybody locked in on this one. You know, a lot of the time, folks, they like to, you know, watch me on a second monitor. That's fine. But today's a lock-in stream, okay? This is a special event. Everybody get seated. It's PowerPoint time. So yeah, get some water. I hope everybody's ready. I'm gonna be convincing you today. I'm gonna be doing a little bit of convincing. Okay? I hope you're having stomach issues. Well, poop that shit out. Put that shit on your phone. Exclamation point pooping right now. All right. I think we're ready. I think we're about ready. I've already convinced you, Princess Cake. That's crazy because you don't even know what the topic is. So let me go ahead and pull this up. This is our PowerPoint for the day. I hope you're all ready for this. I hope you're all excited. So your favorite streamer is about to stream a lot of Escape from Tarkov and why you should watch. Escape from Tarkov 1.0 is dropping in a week, and I used to play this game a lot on stream, and I haven't for a couple of years, and my audience is different now. So I decided to throw this little PowerPoint together today, because you're going to be seeing me play a lot of this game, and I need to. Well, we'll get into it. We'll get into it. First off, let me explain, I guess, because a lot of people are asking, what is Escape from Tarkov? What is this game? So it is the progenitor of the extraction shooter genre. It's the granddaddy. It invented it. So extraction shooters or extraction looters, if you want. It's a brand new genre. I like it quite a bit. I've been, you know, quite vocal about how much I like this genre. But this game invented it. Literally invented it. There's games you can arguably say are extraction looters from before this game, but you would be a little bit facetious with that. It's not really accurate. It's like this game invented the genre as it is truly known, as a genre. Like it other games have maybe done similar things, but this game made it into a genre. It's also gun perverts, and I'm sorry. Like, I know. Listen, just don't leave, please. This is why I asked you to be seated and just be locked in. Just hold on. We'll talk about it. I know. I don't go there. I'm sorry. It's gun perverts, but I promise that's not what we're here to talk about today. I'm not going to convince you to fuck a Glock 17. I promise. Okay. So just no, don't stand, Joopy. Sit back down. Just hold on, okay? Just trust me. Trust your streamer. All right? It's also a really good game. Like, I swear to God, I know it's tough, right? Because it's a fucking greasy gun perverts gamery game. And that's you know, it's tough for me to, but I really swear to God, it is like a good game. Like I really, really, really like Escape from Tarkov. I like it a lot. Like I'm being honest. I'm not even being like any level of facetious. I actually love this game to death, and I want you to hear me out on this. You would have an easier time convincing some of these chatters to fuck a gun. Yeah, maybe some of them actually. But yeah, I swear to God, it is a good game. I like it. It's not just, I'm going to be playing it for a reason, I guess. And it also means a lot to me. I actually have quite a bit of I have a connection to this game, which for reasons I'll get into down the line. It might sound very silly given what this game is, regardless of what you may or may not know about it. It might sound quite silly, but this game actually matters quite a bit to me. Scalarm, I think you're the follow. It matters quite a bit, beyond just being fun. I have a connection to this. And you'll have fun watching it. Escape from Tarkov, it's straight up chat. Even if you don't like competitive fucking gamery shooter games, I promise this game is fun to watch. Like it is great stream content. And I need you to trust me and just hear me out for the next little while during this presentation. We'll explain why. And if you're not convinced by the end, well, we'll hold a vote. Okay, we'll hold a vote. June of Hammers asked us to hold a vote at the end if everybody's convinced or not. So just hold on tight. I know this is a big ask. And that's why I made this PowerPoint. And I need you to just hold on tight here and just hold on, okay? So let's go ahead and move on to a little bit of a history lesson for you on Tarkov. It's you know, talk about why this 1.0 launch that is coming up in about a week is such a big deal, right? So let's go back in time for a minute. This is some browser slop studio called Absolute Soft. Well, this isn't them. This is a bunch of guys from their video game that they made. Their little video game called Contract Wars that they released in 2010. It is just not a good video game. It is a Call of Duty clone, just like a one-to-one Call of Duty clone. It's very much just like you run in circles, you shoot the first guy you see. Like classic Call of Duty clone. We're talking like Modern Warfare era Call of Duty clone. And it's also a browser-based shooter. So a browser game, you literally play it in your browser. It's not like you don't buy this game on a freaking Xbox 360. This is a browser-based shooter. Hence the browser slop that I've referred to Absolute Soft as. It's also just full of microtransactions. There's so much in it. It's kind of crazy. It's really bad. It's just full to the brim. And it has like weirdly good graphics. That's another thing. For a browser-based shooter, it like looks weirdly good. Like it looks good. It's it's very pretty looking. It has really good animations. It's just a very well presented. It even sounds good. It's got good sounds. Like it's weirdly well presented for a fucking game that runs an Internet Explorer. It's pretty wild. And especially for 2010, you'll see it a bit. You'll see it a bit. I'll elaborate. The game is set in Russia during the near future. And this game is basically just dumb fun at best. It's you boot it up, you play a couple minutes, you play like 10, 20, 30 minutes. It's whatever. It's fucking it's dumb fun. It's Call of Duty. It's fucking Call of Duty. We all played Call of Duty at least a little bit. It's whatever. And it also has a bunch of lore, like a bunch of stupid lore in it. Fucking, I don't know, something about private military contractors. None of it fucking matters. Who gives a shit? It's gun perverts lore. But it also introduced something. It introduced something called the Special Economic Zone, which is otherwise known as the city of Tarkov. But we'll get to that. So, 2010 to 2015, this is the era of Contract Wars. It's not a very good game.
The #1 browser-based first-person shooter game. That is Contract Wars. Now, I just can't express how good this game is. And the fact that it's browser-based makes it, like, amazing. The graphics of this game are unreal. And then you take the fact that it's browser-based, and you just can't believe it. Like, I had my jaw dropped for 10 minutes when I first played this game. It is just amazing. Now,
yeah, so despite what this guy said, it's not a very good game, but it stands out. What makes it special is just its quality when compared to other browser-based shooter titles. Now, What is a browser-based shooter? Some of you, I think, have been questioning. Or AKA, oh God, am I old now? So a browser-based shooter, it is what it sounds like. It literally ran in your browser. It runs in Internet fucking Explorer, on Google Chrome, on Firefox, whatever you're running. It runs in the browser. So you log into it on typically like a website such as like Congregate or Addicting Games or Miniclip, something like that. And it usually connects to your account on those websites, and you play it. It's as simple as that. You don't have to install anything. You don't have to download anything. You literally just go to the website, you type in the URL, boom, you've got a video game. And then there you go. They're typically free to play. That's another big draw from these games. You know, you don't have to pay for anything. It's free to play. I'm not going back a slide, Alexa. They're typically free to play. And it was pretty big genre for a little while as well. There was a lot of these going around for a while. Not everybody got into them because they were just worse than regular shooters, but again, they were free. And they generally consisted of like clones of existing popular games. So big ones were Call of Duty and Counter-Strike. I played a lot of Counter-Strike clones back in the day. There was a lot of them. Counter-Strike browser-based clones specifically. These are the types of games that you would boot up on like in the school computer room. Right, so it's like getting the experience of playing this game that's actually good, but you play it at fucking school or at the library or in your friend's mom's office when they're not looking. Right, that was the big draw for these browser-based games. They might not have actually been good games, but they were games, and they were shooters, which is a game that you didn't when you think of browser-based games, you think of Flash games, you think of, you think of fucking stickman figures and stuff. Most people weren't really considering shooters as like an option. So when you saw these, it was unique. It was very interesting and it was very cool. I remember blew my mind when I first discovered these were a thing back in the day. So just for reference, most other browser-based shooters looked something like this. And let me tell you, that was an iconic era of gaming. That was Red Crucible Reloaded. It was around the exact same time around when Contract Wars was around. They shared the same space and time. That is a browser-based game from the era, and that's typically what they looked like. They weren't very good. They weren't very good. They were very basic. They were very thrown together, very simple. And they mostly just grew that attention from being unique. That it was a shooter that you could play on without downloading anything. Very good for kids who didn't have any money. Very good for people with shitty computers that couldn't run stuff very good. That sort of thing. I played a decent amount of them back in the day, not a ton. I didn't realize they existed even until closer to maybe 2014, 15. So I missed out on this era tragically, but yeah, very, for those who were in the know, it was an iconic time. Now, for reference, again, Contract Wars looked like this. Now, I want to stress this is not like modern footage of the game. No, this is from, I believe this is a 10-year-old video currently, maybe 12-year-old video or something like that. So it's a little after the game came out, but this is just what the game looked like even then. It's kind of unbelievable. This, again, I need to stress, no, you didn't have to download this shit. This ran in your browser. It was made with the Unity player, but this looks like a real fucking video game. It actually looks nice. Again, this ran in 2010. I need you to remember what games are coming out in 2010. Like, this actually looked good for the era, even when you compare it to, like, AAA games. It actually looks good. It's pretty crazy. Potato King, thank you for the sub. It was pretty impressive. You could even hear just from the sound, it sounded a lot better, it looked a lot better, it played a lot better. It very much was a Call of Duty clone. You saw all of the numbers flashing on the screen. It's very Call of Duty. It's very of the area. But yeah, 2010. You'd never guess that this game was browser-based. So, Contract Wars was there. It was the king of the fucking castle of poop. It was the king of shit. It was on top. Every single, like, top 10 list you could find on browser-based games, Contract Wars would be at the very top. Browser-based shooters, specifically. Because it was the closest thing that they had to a real game. It was actually like it actually played like a real video game. It wasn't like an amazing one, but it was real. It was like an actual game. It initially came out in Russia in 2010, and we got it, I think, in like 2012, 2013, something like that. They eventually came out here into the West. It gained a pretty sizable audience, though. It was, a lot of people were playing it. It was like decent. I don't know. It was pretty decent. Yeah, I didn't know browser games could do that in 2010 either. It was pretty fucking crazy. It also probably made a boatload of money, and due to those microtransactions I talked about earlier. Holy moly, this is 2010, so this is like before smartphones were everywhere. They existed, but smartphone gaming hadn't really turned into what it is today. So the microtransactions that this was doing were kind of fresh, and people really fell for it, unfortunately. We'll get into how this game microtransacted its audience later, but it's pretty bad. And it was also probably just fucking soul crushing to work on. I mean, okay, let me paint this picture for you. You can tell from just how the game looks that clearly the studio behind it has got real talent behind it, right? This isn't some like group of college kids making a quick buck. Like there's real, very talented developers and artists working on this game. And what they're working on is a direct one-to-one Call of Duty garbage clone that is just soaked in microtransactions. I mean, this must have been awful to work on. This must have really hurt your soul. It must have been really, really rough. So this is basically what the gameplay loop of this game consisted of. I've kind of been scooting over it, but essentially, that was a piece of thinking sub. Essentially, you hop in generic kind of just Call of Duty-ass game modes like Team Deathmatch, or the one where you get the dog tags when you kill somebody. I don't remember what that one's called. And then you level up to get access to more guns. So as you're shooting guys, you start out, it's very Call of Duty in that way. You start out with some basic guns, and like a Makarov pistol and like a bunch of garbage. And then as you kill guys, you get levels. And then as you level up, you get access to more guns, with like a currency. You get like a currency, and then you can spend that currency from leveling up to buy guns, right? And you can also get like attachments for your guns. Again, very, very kill confirm. That is what it is called. Thank you. It's very Call of Duty in that way. But it's like drawn out. It's significantly harder to level up, and it takes a really long time. It's very slow. So you get bored. You get bored because it's fuck, man. What do I have to tell you? It is very much a very elongated microtransaction-y fucking browser-based game. They're trying to make you get bored, so you go and grab your mom's credit card, and then you spend a bunch of money to unlock every single gun in the game. And then you get bored again because you beat it, and then Absolute Soft makes a bunch of money. And that's how it goes. So this is the menu on the right here. This is how the guns work. I've actually played this on stream a little bit some time ago, a couple years ago when I was playing Tarkov. Before the Tetris arc, but we'll get into that. But yeah, this is it. There's two types of currencies. There's the gray one, which you get from leveling up, and the gold one, which you can get from normal gameplay, but it's just so fucking slow. And specifically, when you get a gun, you don't even get it permanently. You have to like rent guns. This is a big thing that browser-based shooters were doing back in the day, where you would rent weapons. I think this is something that you see a lot in a lot of like. This is a whole genre of style of microtransaction. It's something you see a lot in. I like outside of the West, in games like if you see like fuck, what's it called? Like Counter-Strike Online, I think does a similar thing. A lot of Nexon games did this, like Nexon back in the day. They did shooters. I played them back in the day. They did a similar system where you would rent the weapons to use them for like a couple of real life weeks, and then they'd take them away again. And so it keeps you in that loop, right? There's ways to permanently unlock some stuff in the game, but a lot of it was on that rental system. So that's how it worked. That's Contract Wars. It was dog shit, but it was also the king of all the dog shit. It was easily the best out of all the browser shooters, and so it gained a pretty decent audience and probably made a lot of money. So, before long, Absolute Soft, they had their fill, and it was time for, or at least some of the people at Absolute Soft had their fill of this soul-crushing, shitty little browser-based game. Not an MMO. I almost said an MMO. They had enough of it, and so the split. In late 2015/early 2016, so 5-6 years into Contract Wars life, Absolute Soft split into two different branches, with one being Absolute Soft, which they still exist and they run today, and the other half being Battlestate Games. Now, Absolute Soft, they released a new game, which was a sequel to Contract Wars. It's called Hired Ops. You can play it right now. It's on Steam. It is just a slightly prettier Contract Wars. It's the same fucking thing. Same microtransaction system. Same Call of Duty clone gameplay. Maybe I'll play it one day on stream. It's fine. It's Contract Wars again. Now, the other company, Battlestate Games, they would go on to make a brand new game known as Tarkov. Escape from Tarkov. Told you we'd get to that. So, November 5th, 2015, this trailer drops.
Clock's ticking. We take staff and go down to cellars. Exit somewhere there. Hurry up, John. Wasting time. Okay, done. Oh shit! Gonna kill you all! Faster!
Что там у тебя, Серый? Нормально тут пацаны постреляли. Мы удачно зашли. Да тут реально импортные залеты. Я приглох в последний раз в кино видал.
Дальнего ты проверял?
Да погонь ты. Ща.
So that was the announcement trailer for Escape from Tarkov. Now, I don't typically like cinematic trailers, but that one gets a little bit of a pass because Tarkov kind of just actually looks like that. It is, I mean, frankly, I think it looks better in the actual game a lot of the time than it does in that trailer. 2016, Escape from Tarkov drops. EscapeFromTarkov.com. So, between 2016 and 2017, we are now officially in the Tarkov Alpha era. So, a genre is born. AKA, what the hell is an extraction shooter? I've been talking about this all stream. I've been saying, oh, extraction shooter this, extraction shooter that. What actually is an extraction shooter? Right? Like, people keep talking about the genre. What is it? So, an extraction shooter, basically, everybody in the game, it's a multiplayer game. Everybody starts with these items in a stash, right? So it's your inventory. It's like your base, if you will, your hideout, your whatever. It's just a menu. It just has all your stuff in it. It's a big fucking grid-based inventory. It's your stash, right? That's where all your stuff goes, okay? So you can equip all those items onto your character. In Tarkov, that's your PMC. Stands for Private Military Contractor. Whoa, Private Military. Whoa, it's like it's a sequel. Wait, it's like it's a sequel to Contract Wars or something. You can equip those onto your character, and then you can matchmake into what's called a raid. A raid is like a game in this. It's like a match. It's the name for going into a level and doing the stuff. So the game has a bunch of different maps in it. A lot of them are actually locations that you saw in Contract Wars in the browser-based game. It's Lasers, thank you for the Twitch Prime sub. A lot of these are returning locations, so people who played Contract Wars, they logged in and they got to see, oh, that's my fucking house. I know that place. It was very much a direct sequel to the same universe. It existed in the same lore. Some stuff maybe got retconned. I don't know. It's been a long fucking time. It's been well over 10 years at this point, but yeah, that there was a bunch of different maps that you could select. At launch, I want to say 4 or 5 of them available. If you die in an extraction shooter, you lose everything you entered the raid with, as well as everything on your person. Stuff on your person is stuff that you can find in a raid. You can find loot in containers. You can find a bunch of stuff, or you can fight other players and AI bots. There's a specific separation there. You can fight both in the same match. To collect their loot. So extraction shooters tend to be PvPvE, which is to say you're fighting players and AI bots in the same match. That's a kind of a new thing that Tarkov didn't invent that, but not a lot of games were really doing that back then. It's definitely a lot more popular now. I mean, Titanfall did that, but that was way after this, right? Or not after this, but that was way, that was around the same time, actually. I think. I can't even remember. I don't know when fucking Titanfall dropped, but anyways, it's PvPvE. So, yeah, you can find loot or you can fight people for their loot. Generally, though, you're collecting loot. And if you die, you lose all of it. So every single map in the game has what's known as an extraction point, all right? So these extraction points are, the player doesn't actually know where they are, but they are static locations. So once you find one, you know where it is forever. Now, on each map, you're not going to have access to every single extraction point, but you will be able to, you'll have access to some of them, and because they're static, once you know where they are, they are. So if you, for example, Ruaf Roadblock on the fucking map customs or whatever is always going to be in the same spot. It's always going to be Ruaf Roadblock. You can go over there, but you won't have access to it every single time. Now, an extraction point, if you get there, you can extract out of the map. You can leave, you can successfully escape, and you get to keep everything you found on you. So everything you looted, everything you killed for, everything you got, and everything you came in with, you get to keep. So that's basically the gameplay loop. If you die, you lose stuff. If you don't die, you gain stuff. It's risk versus reward, right? It's pretty freaking badass and awesome. And this game is fucking slow. Okay, that's another thing that is worth mentioning here. It's not a Call of Duty clone anymore. Absolute Soft is out the fucking window. Battlestate wants to do things differently. Everything in Tarkov takes time, a lot of time. So looting stuff is slow. Every time you loot something, you have to do an animation where like the thing opens up and then a menu pops up and it has to search. There's like a little search fucking circle-y thing as you search every little item in the thing. It takes a long time and it makes noise while all this is happening too. So like other players can hear it. It takes a really long time. Walking around is slow. Just like moving from point A to point B is just a really slow process. Your speed also is affected by how much you're carrying. So like the more loot you get, you're going to go even slower as you walk around. It's just a very, very slow paced in that regard. Stamina regenerates slow, so you can sprint in this game. But it takes a really long time for it to come back. You can sprint for, I would say, maybe 20 straight seconds at minimum weight in this game. It's another thing that scales with how much you've got geared up on you. But yeah, you can only run for so long, and then you have to sit down. And if you carry enough, your stamina won't regenerate at all, actually, at a certain point. So it's very much a slow paced movement. Reloading is slow. This is a big one. I think this is really what makes Tarkov. I think one of the things that like really stands out for me about Tarkov is the reloading speed. You know, a lot of games, especially in the day, were very fast paced at this point. So like you've got like Call of Duty, early Call of Duty had was obviously running around in circles and shooting the first guy you see. It was very twitch based, it was very quick. And then it kind of went into that around this time, around 2016. It was starting to go into that the mech suit era, the running on walls and double jumping and doing all sorts of crazy stuff. It's also around when hero shooters were showing up. So it was very fast paced time in the era, and that made Tarkov stand out a lot. The simple act of reloading was a very slow process. So BSG, Battlestate Games, they actually own all the guns that they put in this game for the most part. Not every single gun, because some of them are weird and obscure, but for the most part, they own these guns in real life. I mentioned the gun pervert thing, and I'm sorry. But they actually know how these guns operate. So when they animate the guns, every single little thing you have to do on a gun is actually modeled into it and animated They really had a dedication to making this game feel grounded and realistic, if you will. And that's not necessarily, don't get me wrong, I'm not about to say that that's inherently a good thing. We're going to get into that more. But what I'm trying to say is that it was slow. Reloading was more leisurely. It wasn't any Call of Duty, like flipping out your mags. It wasn't any John Wick crazy shit. You just take out your magazine and you put a new one in there, and it takes a little while. And matchmaking is slow as well, but we'll get into that. That's a whole other thing, and that's not maybe on purpose. But so why would I watch this shit? I mean, you know, it so far it just sounds like I'm talking about a slow fucking game. What makes this game fun? It's just slow. Why would I just play a game that's slow? I don't understand. Why would I watch a game that's slow? What's the fun part? Well, it's because there's one part of Tarkov, one thing that's not so slow.
Fucking moment.
Santa Claus we never see. Santa Claus, what's that? Who's he? No one cares for you. When you're a monster kid,
In Tarkov, you die a lot. So Tarkov, with all that stuff they want to keep super grounded, has one of the lowest times to kill in any shooter out there. A single bullet on your meaty face will instantly kill you in this game. It is very, very quick to die. That is the one thing that makes Tarkov not just a slow slog. So, this is a recipe for greatness. As long as you're a pervert that likes suffering like me. So, slow equals stressful, right? Every single moment you've spent doing something is a moment that you could get shot and you could die and you could lose everything. And it's kind of like Alien Isolation in that way, right? People like Alien Isolation because it's got a bunch of stupid mini games that are stupid and dumb. Except if you're scared of the alien, then they become stressful. I'm not scared of the alien, so I don't like Alien Isolation. But in a game like Tarkov, all the loot is necessary. All the loot matters. It's not just about checking off a fucking tick, 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 tick. No, you need the stuff you're actually getting. You're finding stuff that helps you in the next moment. And so when you die and you lose that stuff, it matters, which means every death has more weight to it, which means you are scared of dying. And that slowness of the gameplay, it becomes tension. It becomes real tension. And in this game, death is frequent. No matter how good you are, you're going to be lucky to survive like half of your raids in this game. And that just makes every single victory feel that much sweeter. It's so fucking delicious when you get out of there with a big fucking yummy win. It hits like nothing else. It's very, I don't know, it's good for me. I like it. I like it a lot. In short, though, Tarkov is scary. Somebody in the pre-stream asked if this was going to be a scary stream. That was it. That was the scariest thing I'm going to say, is that Tarkov, in this game, it's some of the most tense gameplay I've ever gotten out of any video game in my life. You know, the only game to come close is like Voices of the Void specifically. And to scare me as much as Tarkov does, it is a horrifying experience sometimes. It is so, like, this game makes my heart race like no other. It's tense, it's nail biting. You're constantly on the edge of your seat in this game because you just got to make it a little further. And you never know when you're just going to get shot in the back of the head and it'll all be over. It's also just a unique gaming experience. Tarkov is very different from a lot of the other stuff that was around at this, especially at the time. So combat in Tarkov, it benefits you, but it's also completely optional, which is so different from how most shooters do it. In Tarkov, you shoot a guy and you get their loot, but you don't really have to do that. Combat isn't the point of Tarkov. In most shooters, the combat's like the thing you're here to do, but that's not the case in Tarkov. In Tarkov, the thing you're here to do is to get fat loot. And combat is just it's more of a thing that blocks you from getting the loot, if anything. If you're really PvP focused, sure, you can go kill people and that can be your source of loot, but it's not like the only source. That's not the main thing. That's not the main point of the game. It's the stopgap. And that's, I don't know, that's very different. It's very unique. It's also the only multiplayer genre where stealth is truly viable. You can argue that like maybe battle royales, it's kind of viable, but that's only until the last moment where you have to fight at the end. In Tarkov, you can play an entire wipe of this game. We'll get into wipes later. You can play an entire, you know, like your entire account on this game, never getting into a fight. You can't complete every quest in the game. There's quests. We'll talk about that later. But you can... Don't do that. No, I'm doing a presentation. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Shut that off. Yeah, there's quests. We'll get to that. But it's the only genre where stealth is multiplayer genre where stealth is like truly viable because you're sneaking around other players. Tarkov actually has a very, very granular movement system in it. So it's very Splinter Cell in that you can move your mouse wheel to change the speed at which you're walking. So you can walk at max speed, or you can walk half of your max speed, or you can walk super duper, super slow. And it changes how loud your footsteps are. And these are, you know, again, real players that you're sneaking around, which just adds to that tension. It's very stealth focused, and that just again is one of the things that makes it so different. And I just minimized it and makes it so unique compared to its contemporaries. And yes, there is quests in the game. I guess this isn't really unique about it, but there's quests in the game. It's another form of progression. There's a bit of an extrinsic motivation there. You're not just getting big loot and killing guys. There's progression. There's forward progression that you can do in the game, and that's really what the forward momentum is. Some of the quests require you to fight guys, but even those ones, stealth is kind of still an option. You can still stealth in to get your kills. In fact, that's arguably the best way to do it, which just, again, it's just so different from every other shooter. Instead of running around top speed, I mean, some players do that and it's annoying, but instead of just running around top speed, Call of Dutying it, you can get a little sneaky, and and that's not to say like, oh, sneaky is realistic and realistic is cool. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that stealthy gameplay approach makes the gameplay slower, which makes it more tense. The slow-paced nature of Tarkov is really, as silly as it sounds, it's what makes it feel so special. It all leads into that feeling of tension and being afraid of losing your progress, whether that be loot or quests or whatever. It also has unparalleled attention to detail. So I mentioned earlier, we were talking about Contract Wars and how that game had like kind of crazy good graphics for a 2010 browser game. That has not gone away here. Clearly the greatest minds at Absolute Soft moved over to Battlestate because Tarkov is fucking gorgeous. And it sounds amazing too. We'll get into more of that later, but just the environmental artists in Tarkov are untouched. They're unmatched. It's crazy how, I mean, like I said before, that they own all the guns that they use in the game. Everything that they have, they look at in real life and they model it themselves off of their stuff. It's just so, I don't know. We'll talk about that more later, but it's unmatched. It's also like if Arma was fun to play. So Arma's like a dog shit video game. It's bad. Arma, if you've never heard of it, it's a mill sim. It is the mill sim. It's literally a mill sim. It's not like, when you call Tarkov a mill sim, that's not technically accurate because Tarkov is a video game. Arma is literally a military simulator. That's what Bohemia, that's the studio behind it, that's what they were originally doing when they made the first Arma. They were making military software for the military to do military war games, essentially. Not games as in gaming, like war games as in like they were simulating war. Arma is literally a mill sim. And that makes it not a very fun fucking video game. I do not like Arma at all. It is a poop game. Whereas Tarkov, it does a lot of the same things Arma's doing. It's got a shit ton of like keybinds on your keyboard that can do all sorts of weird shit, like aiming over and to the right and like leaning around and doing all sorts of weird shit. And it's you know, it's got that extra detail and all the mechanics, but everything just runs a little bit smoother. Everything's a little bit more intuitive and a little bit more streamlined. And it makes it actually fun to play. It's, you know, the combat in this game is actually enjoyable, unlike Arma, where everything sucks ass. So basically, there's nothing else like Tarkov. I really do mean that. A few games have tried, but there's nothing that has captured that same magic that Tarkov has for me. It is completely unique in gaming. And yes, it's a greasy gamer guns game, but it's also different. It's also unique. It's also a special, it's a very special experience, and I like it a lot. So, moving on, 2019 to 2020, it's a very important year. It's monumental even, because this is when Sophie buys Tarkov. On April 22nd, 2019, my wallet was deducted $63.23 Canadian. And also, I guess I got a game or whatever. I guess I got a game that I like pretty much or whatever. Who cares? So there's 4 different editions of the game of Tarkov. I got the cheapest one, and I have never upgraded to this day. Here it is. This is the standard edition of Tarkov. This is the literal receipt I got for the game back then. I have never upgraded, and I never will. It is, I don't wanna. I'm not gonna bother with that shit. And then I played it. I played for a few hundred hours, and then, oops, I couldn't stop. And I enjoyed it quite a bit. Forward a little bit more, between 2021 and 2023, this is the golden age of Tarkov. This is the rise of a giant. So, over the years, Tarkov started to really pick up in popularity. People started playing it. People started seeing it. It was different, right? That's the thing I've been really trying to get at here, is that it was completely different from everything else in the market. You know, these days you see Call of Duty, right? And they're starting to pull from Tarkov. Call of Duty's in a weird, like, boots on the ground kind of arc right now, where it's still fast paced, but everything they're trying to do is like super hyper realistic and stuff, and they're trying to get really weird about it. And it all comes from Tarkov. Everybody's trying to do an extraction shooter right now. Everybody's trying to get more #realistic. And I think a lot of that is really pulling on from this crazy boom that Tarkov had during these few years. So here's some stats. This is between 2021 and 2023. And you can see these are the views. January 6th. Oh, I'm hitting next. There we go. Of 2023, Tarkov peaked on Twitch at 566,684 Twitch viewers. That is this bar right here. Right here is the peak viewers this game ever had. And probably, maybe ever will have. We'll see, though, when it hits 1.0. Maybe it'll jump again, but I honestly don't think it will. We'll get into that. But it exploded. People were all over this fucking game. I streamed it for the first time in June of 2021, which basically means I started all this. Let's be real. I think I started all this. And people just ate this game up. It was huge. It was huge for a while. It was I don't know. Everybody was playing it. It was a phenomenon. It was the game for a little bit. Everybody was playing it, and it was the top of Twitch for like ages. It was huge. But I got you eyeing these numbers, looking at these things, and I hear you saying, Sophie, what are these things? Why does it keep spiking up like that? Well, chat, I would like to introduce you to the concept of wipes. In Tarkov, every 6 months or so, a major update gets released. Every single major update comes with a wipe of all player progress. Everyone in the game gets reset to 0 with no exceptions. Every single player gets all their quests wiped, all their progress wiped. It's like everyone just installed for the very first time again. It's all at 0, like you just started playing. Wipes are fucking huge. Wipes were a huge, huge moment for all Tarkov players. Everybody showed up because they meant a boatload of new content. I mentioned that these are where the major patches came in. BSG would release content for the game between wipes still, but the wipes were where the actual big stuff happened. I mean, you had like game-changing stuff. They got very experimental with it because similar to Fortnite, where Fortnite every single season they can kind of shelve stuff and try new stuff. Every single wipe, since everything was getting reset to 0, BSG could experiment with the game. So they would have some wipes where all the recoil in the game is like really high, and they want to experiment with that. I miss that, by the way. I miss you, old recoil. I'm the only person in the world who will say that, though. They would have wipes where zombies would show up. That's a real thing that happened. All sorts of weird shit. They would do Christmas events where Santa would show up and give you gifts. They would add all this new stuff, but they would also just shake up how the game functionally works. I mean, one wipe, they would add inertia to the game. Like movement didn't have inertia one wipe, and then one wipe it does now. So it's just all this new crazy shit that gets added into the game. It's a huge moment. It's really big. And it also meant an even playing field between all the players. So extraction shooters have this very unique kind of predicament that they're in a bit of a game design problem where because you're collecting loot and some loot is objectively better than other loot and you go in with whatever you've collected, you are guaranteed to fight somebody at some point who has better stuff than what you have. And that's a problem. It's not, there's ways that Tarkov gets around that. I mentioned, one bullet's all it takes. That's a big thing and it keeps Tarkov fairly even. But, at the end of the day, if somebody has like a big fucking M60 machine gun and is full head to toe in like with a face mask and crazy armor, and you've got like a pistol, you're probably not going to win that fight. I'm sorry. I wish you could, but you're probably not going to win that fight. And so that's where wipes come in. Every 6 months, everybody gets wiped back to zero. So everybody has the starting gear. You have all of these people playing the game with the shitty fucking guns. Everybody's guns jamming on them. Everybody's got the worst armor in the game. Everybody's just got nothing. Everybody's got nothing. And it's a really exciting moment. That early game experience is a lot of players' favorite time, including myself, just because you have that fresh experience. Nobody's got the best stuff in the game. The meta guns haven't showed up yet. And there is like a whole meta on this game has crazy gun customization. I'm not even gonna get into that, but none of that's shown up. It's just good old fashioned. I got a piece of junk that I found in a box and I'm gonna shoot you with it. And it's very exciting. It's a great time for new players to jump in. It's a great time for returning players to come back if they haven't played in a while. There was also races to see who would complete all the quests the fastest. So quests in Tarkov have some really good rewards, chief among them being the secure containers. Now, I'll get more into what secure containers are later on, but in short, they are an item that is very, very good. They let you keep loot when you otherwise wouldn't get to keep it. And the biggest quest line in the game is the quest for the Kappa container, the quest line for the Kappa container, which is the biggest secure case in the game. And it takes a very long time to get. There's so many quests in that quest line, and people would race for being the first. You'd have all these be like, oh, world's first to Kappa, every single wipe. It was this really big moment. Every single time the game wiped, everybody would rush to it. It was really exciting every single time. And it created a lot of community engagement. It was awesome. So those people who played the game a lot, they would basically be speedrunning it. It was really cool. And it was also a fresh new experience for the returning players. So I mentioned this with the boatload of content thing already a little bit, but you've got all this new stuff. Your game is different than what it was before. If you haven't played in a little while, it's a perfect time to jump back in and experience all this new content. Get in from the jump, not feel like you're behind everybody. It's great. But above all, really, wipes meant one thing, and that was that players showed up.
You know what time it is. Let's do this. The fuck? I ain't your proud bag, I just don't need your help, so fuck it. I pull my socks up, but I ain't dressing up for you. I come alive when I lose control. Get over the low, let the high times roll.
Why is the recoil so high? That was on me! Fuck!
Tarkov wipes were a big fucking moment. Everybody would show up for them. Now, it's early 2024, right? Tarkov has wiped a bunch of times by now. It's on top of the world. Everybody's fucking playing Tarkov. Everybody loves it. It is, it's the talk of the town. It's the big game. They're doing the best they've ever done. They're probably making $1 billion, jillion, million, trillion down at BSG. Surely nothing can go wrong. So early 2024. Well, see, then they fucked it all up. the Escape from Tarkov Unheard Edition. So, about those editions, I very briefly brought this up earlier. I mentioned that I got the standard edition, the cheapest one. That's the one I got. It's 45 US dollars, around 63 Canadian. That's the one that I've got. That's your standard Tarkov experience. You get access to the game and you get to play it. So there's a few more editions of the game. There's also the Left Behind edition, which is 75 US dollars. I don't think anybody actually buys this one. It's basically the same as the standard edition, but costs like way fucking more. So you can just ignore this one. After that, we've got the Prepare for Escape edition, which costs $100 US dollars, and it comes with a bunch of stuff. I mean, a whole bunch of stuff, but the chief among those things is the bigger secure container. So I briefly touched on the secure containers earlier. Tarkov is a game where you loot stuff, and if you die, you lose the loot that you got, right? So secure containers are kind of a like a catch-up mechanic, a safety net, if you will. Essentially, secure containers are an item in the game that if you put something in it and you die, it stays in the container. You don't lose it. So let's say you find like a really rare sack $1 billion, right? And you can stick that in your secure container, and then you die. You still have it when you come back. That's fine. Now, normally, most players have to do a bunch of really long and difficult quests to upgrade that secure container. But if you spend $100, you get a bigger one. It's 2x3 instead of 2x2 slots. Not only does that let you put more stuff in it, but you can also put bigger items in it that regular standard edition players straight up just couldn't put in there. There's items that are larger than 2x2 in size, quite a bit larger. So that's just more stuff. Now, these were in the game forever. There was also the Edge of Darkness edition. All four of these, this is $140 for this one, which just comes with so much stuff in the Edge of Darkness edition. 140 US dollars. All of these, they were in the game from the very beginning. I kind of glossed over them earlier, but yeah, Edge of Darkness comes with an even bigger secure container, first off. And it also comes with, now, all of the previous tiers come with like worse versions of this, but I'm just going to list off some of the stuff Edge of Darkness comes with. So remember those quests I talked about, where you do quests? So there's traders in the game, right? Different traders do different things. They sell different items and you can level them up so they sell better stuff. And in Tarkov, the way to level up those traders is two things. One, you have to level up your actual character. It's like an RPG system. You just play, you get experience, you do quests, you get experience, boom, you level up, right? And there's like a level up threshold for each trader to level up. It's like, oh, if you hit level 21, this guy will level up. But before they will do that, you need to get reputation. And reputation is something you just get through questing with them. Every single time you do a quest, you will get a little bit of reputation. And once they hit the reputation threshold and the level threshold, boom, they've leveled up. You have access to better gear. So the Edge of Darkness edition, and actually all of these editions, but it just gets more, you get a bigger boost the further down you go. They start with really high reputation, which means you still have to level your character up, but you have to do way less quests to level up your traders, which is how you get access to better gear, which means you will be getting access to better gear faster than all of these other people. It is literally pay to win. It's unfortunate. It sucks. It fucking sucks ass. It's the worst part about Tarkov, easily. It's not just Tarkov either. They, unfortunately, because this game has been so successful, it's poisoned the whole genre. Like every single extraction shooter out there has a similar system to this where you buy these editions that straight up just give you pay to win. Just straight up pay to win. It sucks. Now, people have kind of murmured about their frustrations with this, but unfortunately, it's not as big of a deal as you'd think. But there's one more thing that the Edge of Darkness edition adds that I kind of glossed over here when reading through, and that's every future DLC. Now, I want you to read that. It specifically says on the thing that if you get the Edge of Darkness edition, then any DLC they ever release for the game in the future, you will get for free. So, remember that Unheard edition that we just saw the trailer for? The Unheard edition of Escape from Tarkov is $250 of God's own US dollars. It comes with so much fucking pay to win stuff. I mean, we're talking an item that makes it so the AI scavs cannot see you from as far away. Like it reduces their vision to spot you down to like 60 meters. An item that lets you call a fucking tank to your position. I swear to God, you can call a tank to your position and it'll pick you up and drive you wherever you want to go like a fucking cab. It also, you saw in the trailer, it increases your pocket size. Yeah, those pockets, before this, you could never upgrade those in Tarkov. That was a brand new thing. You can just upgrade those. You can fit magazines in there, which you just couldn't do before. It's crazy. It's mass. It's like so bad, the pay to win. Again, $250 fucking dollars. And yet, surprisingly, people were not they were pissed, but they were not as pissed about this as they were over the other thing. So, do you remember that thing that they said about the offline raids? They mentioned in there that if you get this $250 edition of the game, you can play the game offline. Tarkov up to this point had been exclusively an online video game. You could only play it with other players. But for $250, well, hey, now you can go ahead and you can buy this ability to play offline PvE mode with just your friends. And it's this whole thing. And Edge of Darkness players were fucking livid. They were so pissed off because that is like pretty inarguably a DLC, right? Like that's a DLC for the game that Edge of Darkness players now weren't getting. So, late 2024 to early 2025 is what I like to call the walk it back era. There is no community. I just want to say there's no community out there that hates their game as much as Tarkov fans hate their game. They fucking despise it. They get so up and pissy about it. Even before this whole Unheard Edition fiasco, they were so volatile. I've never seen a community get angry at their community. Like if you go to the Reddit for this, it's nothing but people just being so vitriolic and angry towards the people making these games. They truly think that the people making the games are just the stupidest fucking morons on the planet. It's crazy. Like how angry. And this is again before the Unheard fiasco. They've always been like this. So after this, you can assume it got pretty bad. And after this, Tarkov fell off pretty much immediately. The player counts dropped into nothing. The view counts on Twitch dropped into nothing. People just flocked away. It was pretty rough. No, Last of Us, not as bad. The only company that I think is fucked up as bad as Battlestate Games tier did is Jagex when they fucked up RuneScape. I literally genuinely think that's the closest thing that I've ever seen. I've never seen somebody fuck up this bad. Like Tarkov was dead after this moment. It was dead in the water after this Unheard Edition thing was announced. It was crazy. Just all of that momentum gone. It was worse than Overwatch's fuck up. It was worse than fucking like anything I can think of off the top of my head, except for maybe RuneScape, because they did in fact kill off their entire community with that one. And I haven't really played the game since this. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty rough. I've played a little bit since then, but not really. My trust in the company is gone. I will never pay them another cent. I think that's actually my next slide. I will never pay them another cent though. It fucked me up pretty bad. No, worse than Infinity Nikki, 100% worse. I know what you're talking about. Worse than that. I'm sorry, but worse than that. Yeah, it was rough. It was rough. Now BSG has pretty much walked all of that shit back. Everything I just said is not really a thing anymore. The PvE mode is now just a $40 upgrade you can get separately to everything else. And if you have the Edge of Darkness edition or higher, you just get it for free now. So that's done. The PvE stuff is for the most part entirely gone. The tank thing is just not in the game. I don't think that ever actually got added. It might be in PvE mode, but I don't go there, so I don't fucking know. The thing that makes it so scavs can't see you, it's not a thing. Maybe in the PvE, maybe. It's just that's gone. Pretty much all of it's gone. The only thing that's stuck around is the pocket size, but they added a quest for regular players to be able to also unlock that. So it's still pay to win, but it's at the exact same tier of pay to win that all the other stuff was before. So it still stinks, but it's, they walked all of it back, but the damage was done at this point. Retrofit, thank you for the sub. The damage was done at this point. They weren't fixing it. They tarnished their reputation with the community, with everybody who played their game. It was gone. Yeah, I said this earlier. I will never pay them again. I will never spend another cent on Tarkov. As much as I love this game, even despite it all, and we'll talk about that more later. But I'm never paying them again. It was just unbelievable. The sheer fucking audacity. It was bad. And I'm not gonna lie, this whole thing really fucked me up. I really, really loved Tarkov. I still do, really. Tarkov is a game that's really important to me, and seeing all of this happen really shook me up. I actually was really depressed for a little while, like genuinely depressed. Like we're talking like lying in bed, like just gone. I was like hard depressed for a few weeks after this all happened, because this game that mattered so much to me was pretty much just dead in the water, and I just watched it happen overnight. Like there wasn't even any buildup. It just they dropped this trailer and it was over. But why does Tarkov matter so much to me? I mean, from everything I've described, it's just this pay to win, greasy gun pervert game. And why does it matter? Well, watching a new genre literally become in front of me is what opened my eyes to understanding game design. It was a really, really cool experience to watch. I mean, I got into Tarkov 2019, so a couple years after it came out, and it was just so different from everything else I had ever played, and it was so new that it kind of just fit all the pieces in my head. It made everything click, and I suddenly just understood like how game design works. I mean, for a lot of games we take it for granted, but we're standing on the shoulders of giants for so many things, and so is Tarkov. I'm not gonna, don't get me wrong, it still is, but for so many other genres, we have so many examples of like how to do it right. And you can just kind of point. You can go, oh, here's where they weren't wrong. Here's where a different thing did it better. But you couldn't really do that with Tarkov because there wasn't anything to compare it to. There wasn't anything that had figured it out yet. Tarkov was figuring out its own story in a way. It was really interesting to see. And it honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it changed my life. It inspired me to follow my passions. It inspired me to get into game design and start following it and start understanding it. It was a really big moment. It was actually a big pivot in my life. It was huge for me. And that's part of why seeing it crumble hurt so bad. It was a really big moment. I actually started working on my own extraction looter. It was called Apocalypse. It was a Minecraft extraction looter, which has unfortunately been shelved because just Minecraft couldn't handle what I wanted to turn that game into, and that's okay. I still love everything I worked on from that dearly. And a lot of that did come from like the flaws that Tarkov clearly has. Tarkov is not a flawless game by any means, as you've clearly seen. But the fact that it inspired me to really follow a dream that I've always had that I just didn't think I could do was everything for me. It changed my life, genuinely. My phone's fucking buzzing. I mentioned this briefly earlier too, but there's just a magic of Tarkov that no other game has ever really captured. From the way it sounds, just the way, I mean, I've said it before, but they record every single sound in this game. I mean, they literally, like, they all of the sounds in the game, they literally, they have like vlogs you can see where they get up full fucking in military ass gear and they just like ruffle around and they shuffle around to get all the like Foley sounds. Not every sound, but like almost every sound in the game they've recorded with actual microphones themselves in real life, and it just makes this really cohesive experience throughout the whole thing. That's different from everything else. With stock sounds, I think, not that there's anything wrong with stock sounds, but it kind of makes things feel, if not samey, then a little disjointed when not everything is recorded in the same way. Whereas in Tarkov, everything's recorded in with the same mics, the same booths. Like it's all Tarkov, and it's very special. But that's just the sound. I mean, I talked about the environmental art earlier. It still is unmatched in any game, just how deep it is, because Tarkov, it's a game about looting, and that really encourages you to look around your surroundings in a way that you don't with other games. And they've really leaned into that. They've gone all in on it, and I don't think any game has really captured that same feeling that Tarkov gives. I've tried a lot of other games, a lot of other extraction shooters, and they don't even come close. Nothing is ever that. The closest is probably Arena Breakout Infinite, which is unapologetically just a Tarkov clone. Won't be playing. Hello, I'm hitting next slide and it's not working. The presentation's unmatched. Sorry, I kind of covered all this already, but yeah, the presentation is just, it's such a beautiful game in a weird way. There's so much effort put into it. It's so much effort. I talked about Contract Wars earlier. That was a dog shit, sloppy, fucking browser-based game, and clearly there was so much effort still put into it, even though it was like a dog shit game. And Tarkov, I don't think Tarkov is a dog shit game. I actually think Tarkov is an incredible game. I think it's so fun. I think it is so exciting. It's so different. And there's so much care and effort that goes on behind the scenes that you can see it. Like the passion that the devs have for this game bleeds through, and it's just unmatched. And I just think the genre itself is just cool and different. I've talked about this a lot now, but I think extraction shooters and looters are just very unique. I don't know. They're new and they're cool. I think everything in them really bends together in a really cool and unique way. I mean, you get to do stuff in this genre that you don't get to do in other genres. I talked about stealth a lot. The way that looting matters, like in a way that doesn't for a lot of other looting type games. Like the loot is the star of the show, not the combat. And that's really different to me. It's cool. I don't know. I literally cool and different are the only words I can say right now. But it's. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, look at the background of the slide. This is a screenshot of the game. This is just what it looks like. Like this game is gorgeous. It's crazy. So here we are. It's the present day, and question on everybody's mind is 1.0 ready?
Let's go on to the next kid. You guys saw bears in this area. Okay, we still got work to do.
This trailer came out just the other day, exactly 10 years after the very first ever Escape from Tarkov trailer. This is the Tarkov 1.0 trailer. It's finally happening. This game has been in early access for about 10 years now. And it's about to be ready. Tarkov 1.0 is finally releasing. It's actually coming out after all this time. And despite it all, despite everything that's happened, despite the unheard shit, despite the pay to win, despite all of it, I still really love this game. And I'm going to be playing a lot of it over the next few streams, over the next few months. When 1.0 drops, I'm going to be doing a lot of Tarkov streams. But Sophie, you still haven't answered. Why should I watch you play this shit? I'm talking about this poop-ass fucking gun game. I'm talking about why I like it so much. Oh, Sophie, you like it so... Why should I watch... I don't give a fuck about you. Why should I watch this? Well, I've gone ahead and I've put together a pros and cons list. So you can go ahead and decide whether or not you should watch the Escape from Tarkov streams that are coming up. So, pros. Let's go ahead and start with the pros. First off, nail-biting tension. I cannot stress how stressful and tense that these streams get. I mean, we've had some crazy, incredible moments on stream. I've had... I once hid from a group of like 4 people by playing dead on the ground, and I was there for like 10 full minutes, bleeding out slowly, and I had to like patch myself up quietly without them noticing. I've hidden in bushes and had people literally walk over top of me and put a flashlight on me and not see me. Like, it's crazy how tense these streams get. It's such good television. It's good TV. There is hype fucking moments. I mean, all timers we're talking. When I find like when I find like a really fucking rare item and I have to get out of there and I'm fighting my way out. Oh my god, it's unmatched. It's so good. It's so hype as fuck. There's also a delicious soundscape. I keep talking about the sound, but it sounds so good. It's like ASMR if you're a stupid fucking video game gun pervert. But no, it genuinely, no other game sounds like it. It just sounds good on your ears. It rubs your ears. It's good. It's good. Oh, it feels good to listen to. This game's also why I stream at 936p. People ask me this all the time, and it's literally because of this one video game. It's because of this one. It's just to maximize my bitrate in Escape from Tarkov specifically. It's a bitrate min-maxing thing, essentially. Because 1080p 60 is, I don't have enough bitrate to make that work. This is why I stream at 936p. It's because of this video game. It's because of Escape from Tarkov. Because it's a game that's very hard on your bitrate. It's very intense on it. It's so at 936p. That's why. It's also 10 years of early access finally ending. So Tarkov, I can't even begin to list all the things they have promised for this update. Now, I guarantee you not all of it's going to come through. In the trailer, we just saw a lot of the like, you got to see all the people. Those are all the traders of the game. They're very iconic. And I guess we're going to be able to see them in raid maybe or something. They've since added like fucking like NPC dialogue, like trees in game that you can do for like certain quests. I've never done them. They're really hard. They've added so much fucking weird stuff. They've promised like an insane amount of content, and I guarantee they're not going to be able to deliver on all of it. And I guarantee and a lot of people are going to be mad, but I'm going to be happy because I want to see what their 1.0 looks like. They've been literally I can't explain like how much Tarkov's legacy, unlike a lot of early access games, it's kind of just one day at a time, right? Maybe you'll get a roadmap, but it's kind of just like, here's the game. This is what it is right now. This is what we're planning to add next month. But Tarkov has been talking about the stuff it wants to do in 1.0 since its initial alpha release. I mean, people were talking about wanting BSG was talking about wanting to add like a persistent overworld that was just one big level instead of a bunch of separate matches, and they wanted no wipes, and they're not doing all of that. A lot of that stuff they've walked back on, which I'm happy about, because if they did that, I would not have enjoyed it. But like some of the stuff they promised, they might be getting rid of wipes when 1.0 drops. They haven't really divulged it. They've kind of hinted at it, but there might not be wipes anymore, which would make me sad personally, but it would make a lot of other people happy. There's so much that they've talked about, but more than anything, it's just an iconic moment. Ever since 2019, when I first got this game and I've been playing it, there's been a big orange banner on the main title screen that says beta. This is a beta. It's not representative of the final product, et cetera, et cetera. And it's been there for the entire time I've played this game. It's going away in next week. It's going away. It's going to be gone, which is just so unbelievable. I don't know. It's a big moment for a game that I have a lot of personal connection with. And it's going to be very exciting to see. It's going to be exciting to see people get mad too, and that's okay. You also get to hear me be excited. You get to hear my joy. I love this game, and I will never stop talking about how much I love this game. Even when it fucks up, even when they do stupid shit that I hate and I get pissed off over it, I love Escape from Tarkov, and it makes me happy to play, and it's exciting, and I like it. And if you like hearing me be passionate about stuff, and if you like hearing me talk about stuff that I like and experience that stuff that I like, I can't think of a better stream to watch. These Tarkov streams have been so much fun historically, and they're going to be fun going forward. These Tarkov streams are incredible. They're so fun, and I love them. I'm very, very normal about it. It's good. And you also get to learn to understand a new genre. I think a lot of you are probably here from Balloon SMP. My audience is very different than it was the last time I played this 2-3 years ago. And I have to introduce this whole thing to a new group of people. When I first streamed Tarkov back in 2021, nobody showed up. Nobody showed up at all, and that's okay. I very much had an audience of, pardon my French, but a bunch of cozy gaming 18-year-old queer kids, which is fine, because that's kind of what I was, kind of. And so when I booted this up, fucking nobody showed up. It was weird. It was weird. It was different. It was greasy gaming, gamery gaming, and that's just not what I had been there for. And eventually, I introduced folks into it, and I got people to show up, and people loved it. And it ended up being one of my favorite things to stream, and people love to watch it. And it was one of my most successful stream series as well, just because it's fun. It's good fucking TV. It's good fucking TV. And I got to introduce that to everybody without making them actually play it. Because you've heard me talk about this fucking game. You think I'm going to ask you to buy this fucking game? Hell no. Hell no. Don't spend money on this fucking game, but watch me play it, because I've already spent money on it and I like it quite a bit. It's not even just the game itself too. You know, throughout streaming this, we've gotten a bunch of rituals that we like to do, a bunch of, routines. I learned how to play Tetris while playing Tarkov. Initially, Duke convinced me to play Tetris during the matchmaking screens, which I very briefly touched on this earlier, but matchmaking in Tarkov takes a very long time. We're talking on wipe day when the servers are under a lot of stress. It can be as long as like 10 full minutes. It's pretty rough. Hopefully it's not going to be that bad on 1.0's launch. We'll see. Last couple of wipes I tried weren't actually that bad, but we'll see. But they take a long time, so I would always boot up Tetris. Duke is forcing me to play Minesweeper, so I'm going to learn Minesweeper next for Tarkov. So get excited for Minesweeper, Sophie. We also gamble as hell. We do some fucking... We gamble to see if I'm going to survive each raid, so you get to gamble your channel points. That's always a ton of fun. That's going to be back. Everybody loves a good gamble. But yeah, you're just, in general, I think if you're apprehensive about watching these streams, because Tarkov seems like it's so just not up your alley, I really recommend you giving it a try, because I think it's some of the most fun streams I can do. It's just so, it's TV, man, it's TV. That's all I can say. As for the cons list, there fucking is no, watch my